Commissioner Gordon.
Here.
Chair Campbell.
Here.
Commissioner Kraske.
Here.
And Commissioners Niblin and Clifford are absent.
Thank you. Tonight we'll have the salute to the flag. Let's see, Commissioner Gordon.
Yes. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. On to approval of the minutes.
Approval of order of the agenda.
You're right. Approval of the order of agenda. Commissioner Gordon.
I'll move that we approve the order of agenda.
All right. Do I have a second?
I second that.
Commissioner Kraske, thank you. Okay, we've had a motion and a second. Please vote. That passes. All right, unanimous. On to approval of the minutes for November 5th, 2018. And just 1 second, because I know I was absent for one of these.
I don't think it matters.
I wasn't there.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter anymore,
It may
right?
be a personal preference, but as of the last bylaws amendment, we clarified the commissioners need not be present to vote in favor of adoption of the minutes.
That's right, that's right. Okay, thank you. All right, so, well, let's approve the minutes of November 5th, 2018. Commissioner Gordon?
Okay, I'll move that we approve the minutes of November 5th, 2018.
Okay, Commissioner Rubenstein.
I'll second the motion.
All right, we've had a motion and a second. Please vote. Madam, that. Oh, jeez. Sorry, that passes unanimous.
Hey, yeah, I guess
Yeah, it's a little off. Next, approve the minutes for November 19th, 2018. Commissioner Gordon?
I'll move that we approve the minutes of November 19th, 2018.
Okay, Commissioner Kraske?
I second that motion.
All right, we've had a motion, second, please vote. And that passes unanimously. All right, I see that there's no need for a designation of liaison, so we'll go on to oral communications. This portion of the agenda is available to the public to address the Planning Commission on any issue within the subject matter or jurisdiction of the Commission that is not on the agenda. The time allowed for any speaker will be 3 minutes. If anyone out there wishes to fill out a card, I don't see any, and I don't think I'm going to see any, so I'm going to close oral communications and move on to a consent item. First consent item is a report on a planning administrator's use permit determination for 1680 Francisco Boulevard. Recommended action is to accept the planning administrator's determination that a use permit is not required. Staff report, please.
Thank you, Chair. The item before you this evening is a result of a municipal code requirement that indicates that within the C1 and C2 commercial zoning districts within the coastal zone, the only permitted uses are visitor-serving uses. Other uses which would otherwise be permitted within the C1 and C2 districts, such as offices, personal services, etc., may be permitted once they have gone through the use permit determination process. The process requires an evaluation of the number of visitor-serving versus non-visitor-serving uses within a particular neighborhood, as well as the comparison of the proposed use to policies within the local coastal plan, including the local neighborhood narrative. The proposed hair salon use is located within the coastal zone and within the C1 neighborhood commercial zoning district. Although it's not a visitor-serving use by zoning definition, the hair salon is a permitted use within the C1 zoning district, and after completing the required evaluation and analysis, staff believes that this particular use will not on its own cause an imbalance to the non-visitor serving and visitor serving uses in the area. The proposal would be consistent with the LCP narrative and objectives for the neighborhood. Therefore, it's staff's recommendation to accept the planning administrator's determination that a use permit is not required for the proposed hair salon at 1680 Francisco Boulevard. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Does anyone want to make a motion? Right? That would just be a vote, right?
Yes, if the commission is supportive of the planning director's determination, the commission would make a motion and vote. If two commissioners object, then we would bring this item back at a future meeting for consideration of a use permit.
Okay, well, let's see if we have that. Commissioner Gordon.
I would like to make a motion, and if I could check out your packet, maybe the motion is in there.
Oh.
Where's the motion?
It may not be listed separately, but you could simply go off the agenda and move to accept the planning administrator's determination that a use permit is not required.
Sounds good. Let's see. I move that we accept the planning administrator's decision that a use permit is not required in this matter.
Commissioner Kraske.
And I second that motion.
All right, we've had a motion and a second. Please vote. And that passes unanimously. All right. Onward to consideration items. Next is a request for a one-year renewal of specific plan SP 153-15 for the construction of a single-family residence at 323 Beaumont Boulevard. The recommended CEQA action is no further CEQA required, and to approve the renewal as described. Staff report, please.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Senior Planner Christian Murdoch. The property owners of 323 Beaumont Boulevard are requesting a one-year renewal of their city-issued permit to construct a single-family residence. The Planning Commission approved the permit on November 15th, 2015, with an initial expiration date of November 15th, 2017. The city has once administratively extended the permit to November 15th, 2018. However, no further administrative extensions are available, and the applicant must seek a permit renewal from the Planning Commission. The applicant has described significant structural design revisions which it has had to undertake because of increasing construction costs. The time needed to find appropriate design professionals and potential contractors, as well as the time needed to prepare the structural revisions for submission to the city, have accounted for the delays according to the applicant. However, the applicant has submitted responses to the city's 2016 plan check comments on November 16th, 2018, and has expressed its intention to diligently pursue a building permit if the subject permit is renewed. The applicant is seeking a renewal of his permits for 1 year until November 15th, 2019, and staff supports the applicant's request. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions for staff? All right, I don't see any. If the applicant wants to come up, you do have 10 minutes.
Is it a public hearing or is it consideration?
Good evening, Brian Brinkman. Just to recap what Christian said, the original proposal had some terrace retaining walls in the backyard that required some extensive grading and structural work. As they got closer to getting into the project, the construction costs exceeded what they were looking to do. And since then, we've designed it to reduce the number of retaining walls needed in the back and made it much more conventional structural design. And now he's prepared to move forward. And they're in a better financial spot now to move forward as well. So just looking to get the extension so we can complete the permit and they can get started with their construction next year. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for the applicant? I don't see any. Oh, Commissioner Rubenstein.
Yep. How long has this permit been in play? Or how many times?
November 2016, so 2 years was when we first got it approved.
Okay.
Thanks. I don't see any cards up here from members of the public, so I'm going to close the public hearing component of this and bring it back to the Commission for deliberation. No one? Commissioner Gordon.
Sure. I don't see any reason not to grant the extension. So unless there's any more comments, I'm going to make a motion.
Yep.
I do have one comment.
Sure.
Is there any limitations on the number of times that the applicant can reapply for, or to extend this?
There is not. It's our intention to try to limit the number and encourage applicants to complete their projects. But in this case, given the timely filing of the renewal request, there's no limitation in the municipal code.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I move that the Planning Commission finds that the renewal of specific plan SP-153-15 does not necessitate further environmental review of the project under CEQA because the city has previously determined that the project is exempt under the Class 3. Wow, is this all part of this?
Yes.
Okay. is exempt under the Class 3 categorical exemption provided in the secret guidelines, and because the project has not changed since that determination, and approves a renewal of specific plan SP-153-15 until November 15th, 2019.
Commissioner Rubenstein.
I'll second the motion.
We've had a motion and a second. Please vote. And that passes unanimously. All right. And on to our next consideration item, which is a request for a one-year renewal of Site Development Permit PSD 790-14, a variance and parking exception for the construction of a 4-unit apartment building at 4009 Palmetto Avenue. Recommended action, approve the renewal as described. Staff report, please.
Thank you, Chair. Senior Planner Christian Murdoch. The developers of the 4-unit apartment building at 4009 Palmetto Avenue are requesting a 1-year renewal of their city-issued permits. On appeal, the City Council approved these permits on December 12, 2016, with an initial expiration date of December 12, 2017. The project also received a Coastal Commission-issued Coastal Development Permit, or CDP, after an appeal of the city's CDP approval was made to the Coastal Commission. The Coastal Commission CDP expires on April 13, 2019, and has already had an extension granted by the Coastal Commission to that date. The city has once administratively extended the city-issued permit terms for these permits to December 12, 2018. However, no further administrative extensions are available, and the applicant must seek a permit renewal from the Planning Commission on account of ongoing litigation of the city's permit approvals. On January 4, 2017, petitioners Victor Carmichael and the Committee to Save the Fish and Bowl 2.0 filed a petition for writ of mandate in San Mateo Superior Court, challenging the city's approval of the project. In December of 2017, the Superior Court denied the petition in its entirety, meaning that the court upheld the city's permit approvals. However, the project opponents have filed an appeal of the Superior Court decision, and the city continues to defend the permit approvals before the Court of Appeal. Because the litigation has not been resolved, as a practical matter, the applicant has been unable to proceed with the project. Therefore, the applicant is seeking a renewal of his permits for 1 year until December 12, 2019. Staff supports the applicant's request for a 1-year permit renewal because of the ongoing litigation. However, due to the corresponding Coastal Commission-issued coastal development permit, staff recommends renewing the city-issued permits to the earlier of December 12, 2019, or expiration of the Coastal Commission-issued CDP. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for staff? All right, I don't see any at the moment. If the applicant wants to come up, you've got 10 minutes.
Evening, Commissioners. One thing that didn't come across in the staff report that I wanted to point out was we have been diligently working on the permits over the last year since our previous extension. So that's the coastal development permit. It hasn't been issued yet. What they do is they issue a notice of intent to issue a permit, and then you go through like a more rigorous kind of plan check like you would with the building department for the actual coastal development permit. So the Coastal Commission has approved our soft copies of the plans. We provided them the hard copies for them to physically sign last week, so we're really close with that. And then the only outstanding plan check comment for our city-issued building permit is provide a copy of the CDP. So we think that's all coming together pretty quickly, but it's, you know, we haven't been sitting on our hands for the last year. We have been working on getting that permit.
Thank you. Any questions for the applicant? All right, I don't see any. I don't see any cards up here as far as a public hearing would be concerned, so I'm going to close that, and I'm going to bring it back to the commission for deliberation. Commissioner Gordon.
I'm ready to make a motion, unless there's comments. Move that the Planning Commission find that the renewal of Site Development Permit PSD 790-14, variance PV-513-14, and parking exception PE-160-15 does not necessitate further environmental review of the project under CEQA because the city has previously determined that the project is exempt under the Class 2, 3, and 4 categorical exemptions provided in the secret guidelines, and because the project has not changed since that determination. Approve a renewal of Site Development Permit PSD-790-14, variance PV-513-14, and parking exception PE-160-15 until the earlier of either 1, December 12th, 2019, or 2, expiration of the Coastal Commission issued CDP number A2 PAC 150046.
All right, we've had a motion. Commissioner Rubenstein.
I will second the motion.
All right, we've had a motion. A second, please vote. That passes unanimously. All right. Anyone agree by the action of the Planning Commission as 10 calendar days to appeal the decision in writing to the City Council? All right. Onward. Commission communications, anyone? I don't see any. Staff communications?
Thank you, Chair. A few items. I want to remind the Commission of the cancellation of the Planning Commission meeting of December 17th. As you know, the City Council will be holding a meeting in the chambers that night. Commissioners are encouraged to attend. There will be some minor business by the council, and then they will transition to the City Council reorganization. Also, as a result of the cancellation, the Commission's next meeting will be on January 7th. The Planning Department's excited to announce that our new Management Analyst 2, Joshua Montemayor, started the Monday after Thanksgiving, so it's helpful to have additional staff on hand to help out with our department efforts. The City Manager announced today that Public Works Director and City Engineer Van Ocampo will be retiring, and his last day will be December 28th. And then lastly, since we won't see you until 2019, happy holidays and happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you.
You too.
Yep,
Same
thanks,
to
Commissioner
you.
Fripp.
All right, yeah, thank you. All right, we're at adjournment. Commissioner Gordon.
I move that we continue to have this meeting indefinitely. No, just kidding. I always wanted to do that.
Not gonna second that motion.
I'm going to move to adjourn.
All right, Commissioner Rubenstein.
I'll second that motion.
Got a motion, second, please vote. And that passes unanimously. That concludes the meeting. Thank you. Good night.
So, is that a record?